What's up developers, and welcome back to a new video where we're going to set up our first Symfony project. And then we'll be diving into our project directory. Quick pause. Do you want to support the channel and want me to continue on creating content? You can support the channel on Patreon right now, where you get benefits such as a private Discord group where you can share your coding issues and other developers will help you out. If you are interested to join, the link will be in the description down below. Symfony has 4 different ways on how you could create a project. I won't be covering them all because most of the time you'll be sticking to 1 or 2 ways. And in my opinion, using the Symfony installer or the Composer installer are the way to go. Before we can make use of the Symfony installer, we need to create a binary. Currently, I'm on Symfony's official website, which is symfony.com, and in the right corner you'll see a download button. Let's click on it. Right here, you'll find an in-depth description on how you can install it on Mac, Linux, or Windows. If you're a Windows user, pause the video, download the setup.exe, and I'll see you back in a bit. If you're a Mac user like I am, let's click on Mac OS, copy the curl that we have right here, navigate to the CLI, so our terminal, and paste it right here. As the URL implies, we're going to get Symfony, and we're going to install Symfony CLI, which allows us to install Symfony projects through the CLI. So let's hit enter. Right now, you can see that Symfony CLI version 4.26.9 was installed, but is asking us to configure Symfony on our local system. Now, as you can see, there are 3 different ways on how you could do that. Personally, I prefer to add the export inside my bashrc file. So what we can do is to basically copy this line of code that we have. Then we need to say, well, nano.bashrc, go to the bottom and paste it right here. Press Ctrl X and save it, to press Y, hit enter, and we're finally ready to create our first project. As you can see, I have a folder on my desktop called Workspace, and this is basically the location where I store coding projects. I also want to save my Symfony project right there. So what we need to do is to change up our directory inside our terminal to my workspace. Now it's pretty simple to do that. We need to write down cd to change directories to our desktop first, followed by our workspace. Hit enter, and as you can see, we're inside my workspace right now. With the Symfony CLI tool that we just downloaded, we should be able to create a new project. To do that, we simply need to perform Symfony, space, followed with the keyword new, space, followed with the project name. For now, let's call this project Movies. Before we hit enter and create our first project, I want to let you know that you can adjust your Symfony project's version number. By default, it will always grab the most up-to-date project version, which will be 6 at this point. If you want to define, let's say, a Symfony 4 project, I don't understand why, but sometimes you do, you need to add a flag to your command. So yeah, a flag, that's something new. How do we define that? Well, that can be done by adding a space, -- version, and we need to set it equal to something. In our case, we want to set it equal to version 4.0. We're not going to hit enter because I want the most up-to-date version. So let's remove our flag and let's hit enter. Now, as you can see, our project is ready inside the workspace folder where it has created a folder called movies. Now let's cd into movies to double check it. Alright, we're in movies, so the folder exists. Let's write down an ls, and we got our first Symfony project. We did not only install Composer to pull in packages, but it also gave us the opportunity to create a Symfony project through the CLI. So what we can do is to go back 1 directory into our workspace folder by saying cd ... Inside our workspace folder, we need to remove our movies folder and create a new project through Composer. So what we can do is to say rm, so remove, space, -rf. The R stands for recursive removal and the F stands for force. So we're going to force a remove of the folder called movies. Let's hit enter. Alright. To create a project through Composer, we need to write down Composer, space, create, -project. We're going to make a Symfony project / skeleton. We're not done yet because we do need to define the project name. So in our case, it will be movies again. Now if we hit enter, it's going to install our new project, but this might take a second before it's done. Now let's change directories back into our movies folder. Be aware that if you want to do anything with your project, think about pulling in packages or starting it on your local host, you do need to be inside the project directory. So you can't run a command that has something to do with your project inside another folder. Like I've mentioned in the previous video, we need PHP 8 or higher installed on our local machine in order to run a Symfony 6 project in the browser. If you're not sure if your local machine is ready to run a Symfony project, you can always do a check by saying Symfony space check requirements. That's it, enter. Now, if you indeed have set up your environment in the right way, you can see that you're getting back a message where your system is saying that it's ready to run your Symfony projects. This will look at the version inside your composer file in the root of our project and compare it to the version you got on your local machine. Now there is a command where you can check what the version number of your Symfony project is. That's by saying bin/console space --version. And as you can see, we have set up a Symfony 6.0.0 project. I think that we're ready to run our project in the browser. Symfony CLI comes with a cool web server that is very easy to use. For this, you once again need to be located inside your project directory called movies and perform the Symfony space server start command, and let's also add a flag of -d. What this flag will do is starting the web server in the background. Let's hit enter. It's giving us a warning, which is alright, but the most important thing is this right here. It has returned a green box which says that our web server is listening right here, and it can be accessed through our local host right here. If you somehow have a web server running on your local host and you're getting an error, make sure that you run the Symfony, that's a typo, server stop command before you perform this command. The 127.0.0.1 is the standard IPv address for your project that you need to run on your local host. The :8000 isn't a random number, but it's the first available port that you have. You can copy this link and paste it in the browser, or if you're a lazy person as I am, there's a command that can do that for you, which is called Symfony open :local. Alright, it has opened my project in a different browser, so let me close it off and go to Brave. And as you can see right here, our project is up and running. Now what I want to do right now is to go over the project structure that we have. So let me navigate back to Visual Studio Code. Alright, we have pulled in our Symfony project, but there aren't that many files or folders inside the root of our project. Well, that happened because it uses the project skeleton that we pulled in, which won't bring tons of dependencies with it, but only the Symfony components that are needed to run your project. At the top of our project directory, we've got the bin directory. This folder has only one file and it contains the main CLI entry point, which is the console. Below our bin, we have a config folder, which we honestly won't be using that much since there are some default and sensible configurations right here. There is a public folder, which is the root of our directory. You'll find one file right here, which is the index.php file, and this file will be the main entry point for all dynamic HTTP resources. The most important directory is the source folder right here, the src. Pretty much all code that you'll be writing will be stored right here. If we open the kernel.php file, you'll see that it has a namespace called app, and this will be the same for all classes inside the source directory. This is the heart of your application where all the logic happens. Then we have the var folder right here, and you'll basically see what this directory is all about. It contains all cache and all log files that are generated at runtime by the application. Finally, we have the vendor folder, which is a pretty important folder since all packages that are installed through Composer and Symfony itself will be located right here. A tip for you is to never touch this directory. The main reason is that whenever you want to update those packages, you'll be running into conflicts. The best way to work with the vendor directory is to simply extend or override functions, but we will get there later on. That being said, this was it for this video where we created our first Symfony project and we went over the files and folders that are added inside our project by default. If you do like my content and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button.